This is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Tony Caranco and your host, Wes Underwood.
It's that time again, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Blondie's Woodfire Wheelhouse Food Truck and Kraken Cajun Seafood House in Joplin. Just call 417-434-5717 for Blondie's Woodfire Wheelhouse to make your reservation today to get some good pizza. Or if you're in the mood for some Cajun, head over to Kraken Cajun Seafood House in Joplin, across from Moe's on Main Street. Wes Underwood alongside Tristen and Tony, and well, fellas, let's get started. It's been a pretty eventful week, and sadly, we start on the note of an unfortunate death in the football family this week. John Madden passed away this week at the young age of 85, and I mean, let me start by saying this guy was even being a Raiders coach, a team I despise. He was a true icon. I mean, he was a guy that did everything he could to make someone feel better, to get them on his page, and just an incredible person. Fortunately, I got to watch the documentary that came out just before he passed too, and I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but
I watched part of it. And it was, I don't know, a little fishy. I mean, I'm assuming maybe they knew that he had a few days left. And
that's possible. I mean, it's weird.
Obviously, they're not, ESPN or was it Fox or who? I don't know who released it.
Well, it's supposed to be on everybody, but now it's just released on Peacock and one other one. I don't remember the other streaming service.
So they may have known that his death was coming up, but within a few days, he probably knew his health was deteriorating.
It's crazy.
It was kind of weird they released it, but yeah, it was a great documentary. Some stuff that I didn't know about him. For sure.
I've yet to see it, but I plan on seeing it at some point.
Worth the watch. And I just want to know on this and the lighter side of that, what are some John Madden quotes that you guys found that you like?
I got one that kind of speaks to me in a way. Self-praise is for losers, be a winner, stand for something, always have class, and be humble.
Okay, yeah. I mean, wise words from a wise coach, and
it kind of speaks to kind of volumes outside of football. I mean, no one wants to be friends with someone that's cocky. I mean, if you've got your way of making money and being successful, then you should stay humble, and at the same time stand for something. Try and change the world with something that you do. You can't just stay stagnant in your life, and
sure
that kind of speaks to me in that sort of way.
Yeah, Tony, what's yours?
Mine is a coach is just a guy whose best class in grammar school was recess and whose best class in high school was PE. Never thought that I was anything but a guy whose best class was PE.
I loved it. I really loved hearing that quote too. It was fantastic.
You know what? It's funny, but you think about it. You talk about people who are intelligent and smart. John Madden was obviously very, very smart. He might have not been good academically.
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean you have to be good academically to be successful. And he's, a great example of that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the best. Not only one of the best coaches in NFL history, but he's one of the best broadcasters in NFL history, sports history. Honestly,
sure.
And he was an icon, and it goes farther than just the video games that everyone knows about. But John Madden is again one of the best coaches that's ever coached the game of football, and at the same time being with a historical franchise like the Raiders, I mean, that only made his legacy even better, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then I've got one here. It's a audio clip, so went a little above and beyond here, but we'll see.
It does come out the top of your head. Look at just coming off at Nate's head there. You can have a barbecue on that head. What's this stuff back here? That has to be his. Look, there's a fish going by. A fish just flew right by his head.
And it just translated into this wonderful, fun broadcast. He was informed.
But stuff like that, just random quotes that he said when he was... I mean, he's a guy who tried to bring the game to people and just to make it relevant to everybody who watched.
Yeah.
And just crazy stuff like that off the wall. I mean, I get where he's coming from. I've had a few football broadcasts that I've had to do that on and just say some weird things like that just to keep people interested and keep people going. So I get where he's coming from. He really wanted to be a people person, and he was a people person. Everybody that was around him loved him. So rest in peace to John Madden, and praying for his family and everything that they're going through right now. So, but yeah. Next up, we'll go ahead and head into Jacksonville yet again, and we talk Jaguars. Two coaches pop into mind for them right now. Both are pretty solid picks. Number one, Doug Peterson, former offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. More recently, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, who won a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. And, of course, Wentz got hurt, and Foles took over, and then Wentz was injured again, and things went downhill, and then Peterson lost his job because he just couldn't figure it out. I still think the guy got cut a little early there in Philly. And then next you have Jim Caldwell, who was the only coach to take the Lions to the playoffs since Jim Shorts, but recently, really, since Bobby Ross back in 1999. Ross got him there twice, and they lost in the playoffs as well. And then another one that kind of sticks out to me, Byron Leftwich. I mean, he's in the mix. He's down in the Super Bowl Tampa team, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady in Tampa there. Yeah. Kind of that's it, yeah. Do you think it ends up one of these picks or someone else? We'll go ahead and start. Tristen, go ahead.
Well, if the Jaguars are smart, they're going to pick Doug Peterson.
Okay.
Mostly because the kind of offense Doug Peterson kind of ran at Philadelphia, almost solidified the Super Bowl for him.
It's true.
And, to win one with a backup quarterback like Nick Foles, that's pretty awesome.
Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah, no one saw it coming. So I think...
I don't think they saw it coming.
No.
Yeah, honestly.
It's true. Very true.
But I think the best pick here is probably Doug Peterson.
Okay. Tony, your thoughts?
I would agree with that. And going back to the statement that you said that you think the Eagles cut him a little bit too early, I agree. He couldn't keep, which I think Carson Wentz is a great quarterback. He's just injury prone, so it was really hard to build a program and in a dynasty whenever your key player isn't on the field.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and go Byron Leftwich here. I like the randomness of that, and he's proven that he can win down in Tampa Bay already. And yes, you have Tom Brady, not much to coach there, but he's probably learned quite a bit from Tom Brady himself, along with what he's already known. I think he could be a solid quarterbacks coach anywhere else, but I also think he could be a great head coach. Doug Peterson, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach before that, I think he could do it. I think he very well could do it. So,
I think they should
like
hire
Byron
you. Wes Underwood is the Jacksonville head coach.
You caught whiff of that little fun thing there, that I put out on Twitter and sent to Adam Schefter, and yeah.
Hey, anything helps at this point.
It was pretty funny. For those of you that don't know, I photoshopped myself in to the breaking news of the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching search and gave myself the job. So, that's about how everything goes these days, right?
I said, anything helps at this point.
Anyway, next up, we'll go ahead and talk Mac Jones and the Patriots. Should the Patriots fear of not making the playoffs? They are now a game and a half out of first in the AFC West, barely clinging on to the last wild card spot versus Miami, who is pretty much creeping up in there after an impressive rout of the Saints and pretty much almost shutting them out, to be honest. Do you see anything going right here for the Patriots, or do you see it going wrong? We'll start Tony here.
I can't give you a good answer whether they're going to make it or not. But even if they don't, I think it's a rebuilding year.
Yeah,
they came off a bad season for the Patriots last year.
Very bad.
And this year, they're still really competitive. Mac Jones has proven to be a very solid quarterback.
Yeah.
Even if they don't make it, I think they have their guy. In the pocket who they need. And just kind of build from there.
Need more of an O-line, don't they?
Yeah, they just need to build a team around him, at least an offense around him, and everything else will. And Bill Belichick's the best coach in the league, in my opinion, and Mac Jones is very competitive. I can see him being one of the greats for sure. It's really early for me to say that, but he has the potential.
Yeah, he does. And Tristen, your thoughts?
I think it's going to be really tough for him to win the playoffs. They need to win out. Bottom line, they cannot lose again.
Nope.
And the Jets and the Bills play this upcoming week, I believe. And, I mean, the Jets need to upset the Bills for the Patriots to try and get in the playoffs. I mean, it's not looking too promising, but,
No.
the NFL, anything can change on any given Sunday.
It's true.
I think Mac Jones definitely has the potential, and he's under a fantastic head coach, kind of what Tony said. He's under a great head coach, and Bill Belichick's proven to make great quarterbacks. So I think Mac Jones, you build around him, and Bill Belichick will end up getting more rings that way.
I'll gladly say it. I don't think they make it to the playoffs. I think they fall short, and I think Miami does gain the momentum and they take over. So, I mean, Waddle down there is having a phenomenal year at wide receiver, and Tagovailoa, whatever you call him, Tua. I'm just going to call him Tua. He's having a great year. He got hurt there for a little bit. He's starting to rebound. I think the Dolphins are the surprise team in the AFC.
How far do you think they'll make it?
Oh, I think to at least probably they'll make it past the wild card round. They'll make it past wild card.
They're looking that good?
I think so. I do.
Yeah,
I did hear they were on a winning streak.
Yeah.
How many games in a row?
I think they're at 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've turned it at the right corner at the right time.
I mean, that's when you need to be playing your best football.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially when in the divisions in the horizon. There you go. On the horizon. And next up, we'll go ahead and talk Big Ben briefly. And, well, you know what? He came out saying this is going to be his last home game at Heinz Field. Surprised he's calling it a career? Or
Nope.
do you think...
definitely not.
Do you think he's just going to go to a different team and try to help out there?
Man, have you seen any of the Ben Roethlisberger lowlights?
Yeah.
Man,
It's been a bad year, but...
Dude, and it's crazy because he's so inconsistent. Last year, he had a great season.
Yeah.
Went 11-0 before they lost. They finally lost, and then they lost like the last 4 or 5 games.
Defense collapsed as well in that. I don't understand.
Man, yeah, I thought he should have hung it up like 3 or 4 years ago, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm a Steelers fan myself, but
There you go.
I think we need somebody else. Mike Tomlin is a good coach.
So, going in on that, are you for the Aaron Rodgers pump to get him there?
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
Yeah.
But, and everybody knows that Aaron Rodgers was going to leave Green Bay.
Yeah. Oh, he's ready to get out of there.
But I don't know. But if I was Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if I'd probably do something that Tom Brady did. I'd probably want to go somewhere warm.
But he likes cold weather, he said. So he says he likes the weather of Wisconsin.
And maybe he's hinting that he may go to Pittsburgh.
Maybe.
I think Big Ben should have hung it up a long time ago. I mean, if you look at the evolved defenses are in the NFL, I mean, they're almost proven to go after a running quarterback more often and be able to contain a running quarterback. And I say that to say this.
I mean, he's like the last pocket quarterback, isn't he?
Yeah.
Him and Brady.
Brady, yeah.
I mean, Big Ben, I mean, he can run over you, but he's not Lamar Jackson, he's not Kyler Murray. So I think
well, he tried to prove it a couple weeks ago that he was when he outran the defense there and did a little juke and a spin, I believe is what it was, and he got the first down. So
yeah, I just personally I think he's done. I think his career needs to. I think it's a wrap.
yes.
I mean, and overall, if he hangs it up after this season, it's still a great career. But yeah, like Tony said, he should have hung it up a while back ago, because the NFL is just not the same anymore, and he's just going to end up getting himself hurt.
Think he should hop on that Harley without a helmet and take off?
Well,
back in the day, he got in trouble on his Harley with a woman and was on there without a helmet and got in a motorcycle crash.
Oh, yeah. I don't recommend that. But but to what Tristan's saying, he says that the NFL's evolving and
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But I mean, the two best quarterbacks in the league right now are still from that era.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Yep.
So it's maybe evolving, but it's proven that what they're doing is what's best for the teams. I don't necessarily think that evolving means that it's better.
It's true. Very true. And next up, we'll go ahead and talk Baker Mayfield. And, nonchalantly just puts off death threats this week. And he says it's normal and he's been used to it before, but then yet his wife, on the other hand, is like freaked out here. I mean, do you get where she's coming from? And then he's just like, it's all right, people threaten me all the time.
Yeah, man, like, people get death threats all the time, you know.
But not even to fear for your wife?
Man, they're gonna. I'm not saying that death threat should be going on. I'm just saying that it happens all the time, especially with famous people.
So weird, though.
I get death threats every once in a while. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I don't ever get any death threats, but I just don't, obviously, like, people are really mad that, you know, he didn't play very well last week. And,
yeah. I mean, they feel like he just tossed the season, I guess, but mainly most of these death threats are coming on social media, though, too. So
yeah. Well, is it death threats or death wishes? Because there's a difference.
I don't know. Yeah, it's true.
It's kind of hard to say because I've always been a Baker Mayfield fan since he landed at OU. At the same time, I mean, he is famous, and he kind of threw away the Brown season just because he can't play well with the Odell situation, all that drama and everything.
It's like they don't like each other really bad, but yeah, he wanted him there. I don't understand that. I don't.
Man, Odell's a cancer everywhere he goes. I don't like Odell. I think he's a great athlete.
It's interesting that he got along with Eli Manning, but can't get along with anybody else. And Eli Manning was frustrating at points.
Yeah, but Eli Manning didn't have very many choices.
No,
you know, so Odell was a guy. You know, whenever I don't know, I don't like Odell. I think I'm all for people being competitive. And he has came out saying before that he's competitive. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just being toxic in general. You know, if people don't want you on the team, you're probably the problem.
Yeah, true. And with that, we'll go ahead and get on in the NFL here, and we'll talk playoffs. Who gets eliminated this week from playoff contention? A lot riding in the AFC. I say the Broncos for sure. They take on the Chargers. I don't see them beating Herbert. And then the Ravens, I believe they fall to the Rams. Even if Jackson is back, he's still going to be discombobulated and kind of running around on that ankle, toe, whatever's going on there. Diarrhea in the back there. Whatever he's got going on, I don't know.
That's all he needs for a comeback.
Yeah. I don't see them winning. And then the Raiders, I see them losing to the Colts and falling out of contention completely as well. I see the Colts moving on here. And that's what I've got in the AFC. Anybody else in the AFC are pretty much spot on there?
Personally, I say the Dolphins get kicked.
Okay.
And I say that because I think for one, I think their momentum is out. This is my prediction, my honest prediction. I think the Dolphins. I think they collapse at the towards the end of the season, and I think Baltimore slides in. And
okay.
I think Baltimore slides in because the Browns have the Bengals next week, and I am honestly pulling for the Browns to beat the Bengals. I think the hype is too much for the Bengals and Joe Burrow, and I think the Browns upset him next week, and Baltimore slides in.
So yeah, I don't see them falling to Joe Burrow, but I mean they'll make it competitive. But Joe Burrow and his team, they're doing spectacular things right now too. Jamar Chase, dude's just a freak. I mean, I feel like he's better than Odell.
He's definitely going to be a top wide receiver in the next couple of years in the NFL.
Yeah. Going back to that Odell statement, there's a lot of wide receivers that are better than Odell.
Oh yeah, but he's one of them for sure. He's one of them for sure.
I just don't like Odell.
Then next up, the NFC, one spot left at this point. I mean, everybody else is pretty much locked in, and it's between Philly and San Fran, and I love the Eagles here. I hope they win out. I think they can do it. I really want Philadelphia back in there. Hurts, in my opinion, has really deserved it, and his backup, Minshew Magic. I mean, if Hurts gets hurt in the playoffs, Minshew Magic comes in and gets that stash going. So
yeah, I think I agree with you. I'd like to see Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts make it to the playoffs, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt. I really like Jalen Hurts as an athlete and as a person.
I like the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
Mostly because
Not going to happen.
Defensively, we're much better, especially because, mostly Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs are on the defensive side of the ball. But offensively, we have, I believe, the most complete Dallas team in a really long time. You got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. I believe I'm missing one more. I can't think of it at the moment.
Cooper?
Amari Cooper, yeah. Literally the number one receiver on the whole offense. But, yeah, you got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and then you got Zeke in the backfield. And Dak has a lot to prove. I really believe in Dak, and I think coming off of that gruesome leg injury last year, he's got a lot to prove, and I think it's going to end up in the Super Bowl.
This is my thoughts on all of that. That's not going to happen. Cowboys suck. They're inconsistent.
But the real question is though here, Philly or San Fran? Who's getting the last spot here?
Oh, Philly.
Definitely not the Cowboys.
Definitely not.
And then the
San Fran.
Eagles will come in and beat the Cowboys.
That's right.
So there you go.
I see none of that.
I mean, the
happening.
high seed takes on the low seed, right?
I see none of that happening.
Well, my thing is, if they were consistent, if the Cowboys were consistently good, then I'd be like, yeah. As much as I hate to say it, they can. But going back to one of our very first podcasts that Wes and I did together, you asked me, will the Cowboys make the playoffs? And I was proven wrong.
Yeah,
I said absolutely
and
not.
they've got their spot locked in, so
Yeah.
it's true. And I think I counted them out too because just
They played terrible
too
that first game, right?
Too much inconsistency going on last season and this year. Yes, quarterback goes down. Yep, big momentum shifter. He was on pace. Dak Prescott was on pace to do a lot of great things. Then unfortunate injury, and being a Chiefs fan, you don't like them either. So, but being a Chiefs fan, watching that happen with our quarterback too, and a lot of things happened there where he got injured along the year. I mean, even playing after 2 weeks after he dislocated his knee, Mahomes did, and then came in and had the Super Bowl run. I mean, so for Dak to do this, much credit.
Sure.
It is.
No,
but do they make the Super Bowl? I wholeheartedly agree they won't, just because of some inconsistency factors.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
plus Zeke is, he's.
And it's Rodgers last year in Green Bay, so.
I mean, if you do look at it from a Chiefs standpoint, a Chiefs fan standpoint, I mean, Kansas City struggled really early in the season.
Yeah,
now they've kind of turned it back around and are looking for another Super Bowl run. And I mean, Dallas struggled here and there.
They did really good against Dallas, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, I would honestly like to see
crap
it.
out of them. Yep.
I would like to see it. Kansas City and
that'd be
Dallas
a
in
fun
the Super Bowl.
Jerry Jones would love it. So
yeah, plus so they got Green Bay on that side.
Yeah,
they got Tampa
Bay. Yep, they're in.
The two best quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion, all on the NFC.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to. Dallas is. I'm not saying it's impossible because anything is possible in professional sports.
But getting past those two is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Especially with
of course.
the referees going their way all the time.
Well, of course. But at the same time,
you can't deny it on Tom Brady, but
Dallas
they play clean.
Dallas first has to beat Arizona this week.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. But Arizona's kind of collapsing at the wrong time too. So
they are. But I think honestly, with the NFC, I think it's going to come down to 3 teams, and that's going to be Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and Dallas.
Nope. Not Dallas.
I think Arizona definitely falls apart.
Okay.
Early in the playoffs.
They very well could. But
what about the AFC? Who do you think?
AFC. As much as I'd like to say Chiefs, at the moment I think they'll get to the championship. I do, but does any of these other teams up there beat them? It's a good possibility because the Titans got your head on their shoulders. You know that the Buffalo Bills are wanting to come in and destroy you at home, just like they almost did in the playoffs last year in the AFC Championship. Yeah. Can the Chiefs hold them off twice and keep Josh Allen from doing what he's doing? Who knows? But
statistically, it's harder.
It is harder, and as much as I want to say the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, and I do believe that they will, but I also have that doubt in me that's like, if we face one of those two teams, if we get up there against the Titans or Buffalo, even without Derrick Henry with the Titans, I think they could still do good.
Makes a comeback just for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be very hard to do with his injury, but on that, yeah, those are the three teams. Those are the three teams I see going to the AFC Championship. Just because the Chiefs are on a hot roll, they're going to get, if they get that first round bye, I think they'll be healthy enough. Kelsey's coming back off his COVID holiday, so now we'll go ahead and head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Jefferson's this week, and we will also include the local sports update as well. Go see Billy and his crew this holiday season and enjoy some great food along with your favorite sports. And we will now talk local basketball, as really nothing on this weekend's slate going into the new year, and everybody will be back in action next weekend, so we'll load you up with some sports next weekend. Really a lot of stuff going on next week, but unfortunately we do this show on Fridays and we give you what's going through the weekend. So, and then next we have local college sports, and the 7-3 Missouri Southern women's basketball team will be heading to Northwest Missouri State to take on the Lady Bearcats. Game time is set for 1:30 p.m. As for the men, their game has been postponed. I believe it's COVID-related as well. They will now take on Missouri Western at 7:30 p.m. on Monday. As for Pitt State, the women will head to Missouri Western tomorrow to take on the Griffins at 5 p.m., and the men will follow after that. And with all those out of the way, we're going to go ahead and sign off for the week, and the music's starting and going, and guys, have a good New Year's. You're going on a cruise there, Tristen. Hope you have fun on that. And
I will try my best.
Tony, any big plans for the new year?
No, man. I'm just going to go spend it with my family and very PG.
Good.
Start to my 2022.
You gonna watch any movies, or?
Dude, I just watched the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah?
Have you guys watched it?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you ruin it.
Well, Spider-Man dies. You got to figure out which one.
It's true.
You heard
Very
it here
true.
first, folks.
But it's been out a few weeks now, so I think we're good there. But everybody have a great and happy New Year, and we'll see you next time on the Sports Timeout Podcast 2022 edition. See you.